Did you know that nearly 1 in 4 parents experience some form of estrangement from their adult children? I mean, it's a heartbreaking reality that literally affects millions of families, which is probably leaving you to wonder, how do you navigate the silence, right? How do you heal the broken bond? Should I reach out to them? What are the long-term consequences of letting the divide grow even wider? And so today I want to talk about that. And the biggest question related to this video is, should you contact them? Now, some of you may have received a letter from your child. Some of you may have gotten strict instructions on not to contact them for a certain period of time. Some of you had children that just walked away and said nothing. And some of you are navigating the relationship still. But I think it's important to understand that the root cause of arguments or disagreements, it's so easy to get caught up in those heated discussions without taking a step back to understand why they're happening. And that's usually the meat of all of this, is it's not really the argument, it's what's behind it. A lot of times the conflict between moms and adult children does stem from some type of miscommunication or an unresolved past issue, or even mismatched expectations, sometimes on our part, sometimes on theirs, sometimes both. So I want to dive into some of these today. The first one is communication. We talk about this a lot because it affects absolutely every topic that I bring up. And again, I just want to remind you, it's not just about speaking, it's about listening. Listening, validating feelings, responding thoughtfully, right? And we can only control our side of that equation. So I want to encourage you, if you have the opportunity right now, to have calm conversations where your child's going to feel heard without interrupting or assuming. When you get this opportunity again, instead of reacting defensively, if they said something to the effect of, you don't understand me. And it's really easy to be, well, of course I do. I'm your mother. Of course I understand you. Maybe we say, I want to understand you. Help me see things from your perspective. And then be still. Because this simple reframing, something that small, can show your child that you value them, that you value their feelings and are willing to listen without judgment. In fact, for those of you moms that are ready to take the next step in taking care of yourself during this critical time, this is likely the most difficult time of your life. I know it was for me. And if you're looking for a lifeline and you are ready and you're committed to finding peace and support, then I want to explore this with you. So when you are ready, I want you to book that discovery call. The link below is in the comments as well as in the pinned comment. This is an opportunity where you and I'm going to learn more about your journey. I'm going to learn about how this journey has been affecting you, because that's the biggest piece here. And then I can share with you how I can help you. Again, these are for moms who are ready to prioritize their well-being and embrace personal growth. So if that's not you yet, it's okay. Just hold on to that link and reach out to me when you're ready. I look forward to talking to you soon. The next one is healthy boundaries or personal limits. It's really one of those concepts that goes around every topic we bring up here. Because boundaries, personal limits, it's about establishing mutual respect, and it maintains your emotional health without sounding controlling. So you can think of it as setting expectations for how to treat one another. So if you look at it that way, it's really about setting expectations. So how do we treat one another in a relationship? So let's say, for example, your child, you're in conversation and they're constantly raising their voices, and maybe it makes you feel hurt. So you can calmly express to them, keyword calm, calmly express that, you know what, I understand that you're upset, but it's important that we talk respectfully or we're going to get nowhere here. Because if things escalate, that you would need to take a step away, and then we can continue the conversation when we're both calm. So you're not punishing that person, your son or daughter, you're protecting you. You're protecting your emotional space. That is the key here. The next one is managing emotional responses. This type of conversations that we're having with our kids, they can be really heated, right? Because we're trying to get to the bottom of it, and maybe you are and maybe they are. But in the heat of that argument, it's so easy for emotions to just take over and to take control. So we need to learn how to manage those emotional responses so, it can help diffuse tension, and we don't want this to escalate. There's already issues, right? If you're watching this, there's already some type of issue with the relationship. We don't need to escalate anything. So if they were to criticize you in a harsh way, instead of snapping back, which is the human response, or shutting down, what if you just said, you know what, I hear you, and I'd like to talk about this when we've both had a chance to cool off? What can someone say to that? It's going to help you respond rather than react, and it's going to help reduce the chance of you saying something that you might regret later, right? The next one is conflict resolution. One thing I like to say to moms, and I want to remind you, if you have not heard this, is not all conflicts are about winning or losing. They're about understanding and finding middle ground, agreeing to disagree. So we want to approach these various conflicts that come up in our relationships with more of a mindset, more to cooperation rather than confrontation. We don't need any more confrontation. So let's say, for example, your son or daughter feels like you're too involved, for example, in their life. And you're just trying to help. So instead of saying, I'm just trying to, be there for you, what if you came and found middle ground and said, how can we find a balance where I can support you, but not feel like I'm overstepping? Because that opens the door to compromise. Most people are willing to compromise because it's showing respect. You're showing respect that they have their own life, but yet you're also able to express your desire to help. The next one is letting go of control. Empathy is so key when we resolve these conflicts because it allows you to step into your child's shoes for a second and understand their perspective. And at the same time, letting go of control allows them to make their own decisions. It shows trust. It shows that you trust them, that they can make their own decisions. Even if you know that maybe they're not going to make the best decision, we can't control it, right? Give them the opportunity to fall. So if your child takes a path that you don't agree with, instead of saying, that's not going to work out for you, that is just going to be confrontation waiting to happen. But we want to give them more of a sense of independence while reinforcing unconditional support. So letting them know that there's unconditional love, there's unconditional support, but you're not making the decisions. And then the next one is the power of apologies. Apologizing when necessary can be a powerful way to heal relationships, even when you feel you may not be entirely at fault, okay? Owning up to your part in a conflict can definitely pave the way for reconciliation. Now, I know a lot of you have done that and it still hasn't brought reconciliation yet, but you're on the right path in my opinion. Because if you realize that maybe you've been pushing too hard for them to make decisions, and maybe if you came back and said, hey, I'm sorry I put so much pressure on you lately. I care about you. I just want what's best for you. I realize that these are some things that you're going to have to figure out on your own. That can just ease some tension. Anything you can do to ease some tension, because then people are not on guard and they're going to be more willing to have these conversations. And then the last one is faith and patience. I know it's hard, but resolving conflicts with our adult kids is often a long process. It doesn't happen overnight because the incident didn't happen overnight. There was some type of a ground laying process. So having patience, leaning on your faith, will help provide you strength when progress feels slow, or maybe you've had a setback, maybe something else has happened. But I want to remind you that if you've made efforts to repair the relationship and you're not seeing immediate results, healing takes time. And you also have your faith. I want you to trust that with time and prayer, that this will heal. This is the intention of God. He does not have intention for you to sit here without your child for the rest of your life. I believe your family will be reconciled, but you need to be patient and you need to take care of yourself in this process. So I hope this helps you in some form. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.